Couple of cars that came on the pit road a moment ago. The 29 of Kevin Harvick, the 24 of Jeff Gordon. Both say they can now make it all the way on fuel.
It's like Jamie McMurray came down pit road here too to top off. That means he can make it from here.
By the way, the 2 car that came on pit road a moment ago after bringing out the caution flag had too many men over the wall. They now have officially all the penalties that have been handed out today on pit road. Not exactly want to go for the whole rule book there. Almirola in, Michael Waltrip in as well. 25 cars on the lead lap. Matt Kenseth is our leader. Jimmy Johnson being shown in second spot. McMurray coming off those back-to-back top 5 finishes. Should get what should be his final stop. You wonder how teams are able to win 3 consecutive titles. And you see those kind of calls that Chad Knaus made today for Jimmy Johnson. You understand that you got a lot of smarts on that pit box, and he's able to take Jimmy out of harm's way.
And he's taking in all the scenarios. You know, he's looking at where he is on the racetrack, what they need to do and what they don't need to do. They don't need to wreck, so he's trying to keep Jimmy out of trouble. Pulls him down pit road, gets 4 tires, puts him at the back and lets him stay out of trouble. Then he makes that call to put 2 tires on and get in the lead. I think it's just a brilliant strategy.
Just invaluable. As a driver sitting in the seat, and you have someone like that on your pit box that you know is keeping up with everything that's going on in this race, man, that gives you so much confidence anytime he says something that you want to do.
Now you know why Jimmy says whatever Chad does, I will do, because he understands Chad's going to do what's best for the team and for them. Pace car pulls away, and we're going to try to get to the checkered flag here very soon at Homestead-Miami Speedway and see if Jimmy Johnson can indeed write history. Carl Edwards, who has led the most laps, being shown back in 4th position. And Carl has had his hands full here with his car back in traffic on the previous restart.
Yeah, it hasn't been as good as the track has cooled down, plus it hasn't been as good back in traffic.
Like Kyle Busch digging on the top. Past the cars coming. He's coming on Carl right now.
Kyle Busch able to make a pass on his teammate Tony Stewart, now right on the deck of Carl Edwards as Tony slides up.
As you look back through all that, we have 43 cars on the racetrack again. Marcus Ambrose is back out there. He's 43 laps behind. So Jimmy Johnson and these guys, they still cannot relax because nobody's fallen out of this race. And so they're not being helped in that scenario as far as being able to clinch this championship.
Here's Kyle Busch looking to the inside of the 99 car for position, and Carl holds him off.
It seems when a car gets to the back bumper, Carl, it makes him extremely loose.
And we saw those cars make that pit stop, and we know they can make it. Carl Edwards stayed out on this pit stop. And remember, he went 69 laps at Texas, the same size racetrack as this one. He only has to go 66 laps to make it to the end of this race.
Just watching this and thinking back on Jimmy Johnson's situation, Doc, DJ, and Andy. You know, the last time that 48 car finished lower than 37th in a race was at Charlotte in May. He was leading at lap 346 of 400. At lap 351 of 400, the engine broke in his car. He finished 39th. They may be feeling okay. They're not feeling comfortable.
Don't tell Chad Knaus that right now, Alan. He doesn't want to know that.
I don't want to rain on anybody's parade, but you know what I say all the time, Andy.
It ain't over till it's over.
That's right.
And remember, he still has to finish 37th or better because even though he's led some laps, Carl has led the most laps.
Yeah, and the 37th place car right now is only 2 laps down. So there's a lot to be happening here yet in these last 53 laps.
Here's a driver, the 16 of Greg Biffle, that has made one heck of a comeback. The former 3-time Homestead winner. Biffle got a lap down, had a hard time getting back on the lead lap, and has now driven this car back into the top 10.
Nice job by Greg Biffle. He just stayed with it. Stayed patient and persistent at the same time.
And don't forget, this is his racetrack.
That's right.
He's won here a ton.
Behind him, the pole sitter David Rudiman. And Rudiman, by the way, one of the reasons that they wanted to be so aggressive is because they're trying to get full sponsorship for 2009. 44 car will be changing to the 00.
Talk about aggressive. Watch David Reagan right here. Man, he is driving the wheels off this 6 car.
He's going to make it 3 wide right here as they come off of turn 4.
Somebody told him this is the last race of the year.
The 2 car, by the way, Kurt Busch, is now headed back to the garage area, so that puts 42 on the racetrack.
See Denny Hamlin take over that 2nd spot from Jimmy Johnson.
That means that Carl Edwards now will be the next person in line to try to move in on Jimmy and take a spot away. David versus David. Dave.
I was hoping you would go there next, Doc. A third Dave in this. They dropped a lug nut on the previous time they were on pit road. That's what put David so far back in this queue. And so now as he races for that 10th position, he was really much further up except for that mistake on pit road. Mike?
Well, David Ritterman has been pretty much battling this race car all night, but it seems to be much better since the sun went down. His most recent comment was to his guys saying, hey, it's come around. We're really a lot better in the center than we were before, and it's helped searching around. That's what he's been doing. He's been looking for different lines. It seems like he has found the line, easy for me to say, that he really likes right now.
How about this line that Dale Jr.'s running? That top side of the racetrack, that's just where he lives. Making up some ground. Look here. Got to run.
And you know, Tony Jr. told you before the race started when you were talking with him, he thought that to win this race, they had to be on the bottom of the racetrack when the sun went down.
You got to take that with a grain of salt because Jr. really likes this high line. And if it works, it works. But you see Kevin Harvick now working the bottom of the racetrack. And he's getting past.
Yeah, right now Junior's going where that momentum is and where the other cars aren't. And that's the best way to make passes.
Earnhardt Jr. is 12th. Harvick is 13th. And now Harvick pulls all the way down to the inside of the track and will try to go by the 88 car.
See, Harvick makes a lot of ground through the corner. Give it up on the straightaway when you run that low line.
Carl Edwards now reeling in ever so slowly the 48 car of Jimmy Johnson for third position. Carl said if it were just that easy for a championship. It is for position on the racetrack.
Yeah, and I've been watching Carl's lap times, and you know when he pulled the deal at Texas that he really backed his lap times way down, and he's not doing that right here. So hard to imagine that they're looking at a fuel deal that they could make it from this point.
They're probably not playing that strategy right now. We caught them cutting the car off on caution flag trying to save fuel just in case they were forced into that situation. But we know they went 69 laps at Texas.
Here's our leader, Matt Kenseth, who has now led 4 times for 41 laps. There's the separation between Kenseth and Hamlin. 2.1 seconds back to Denny Hamlin, then Johnson, Edwards, and Tony Stewart in the top 5. Back after this message and a word from our ABC station.
The ring